Okay. Good, I got sound. That's playing. We're good to go. Let me get my gloves on, everyone. This, and here we go. Oh, wrong one. Spin this around. Okay, we're gonna head outside so we can get everyone fed. First, gotta collect some water. Ooh, it's bright out here today. Gotta do one other thing real fast. Gotta get everything set up properly, which I don't. Hi, Meowie Teal. This is Amityville. Okay, everyone. How is everyone doing on this lovely... I believe it's the 15th. I want to need water jugs because I need to give everybody some water. So I'm welcome everyone to the episode 10 of Let's Feed the Chickens. Hope everyone is well. I am very well today. It's a fairly warmer day today compared to what it normally is. You know, look at all the ducks. Quack. So you'll if anybody reads into my descriptions, you'll see where I have set up for donations for the gimbal handheld. If anybody would like to cool, I know the holidays are coming up, so no worries. I have a friend who said that they're going to help me out with that. So, but I just thought I would just mention it to anyone else that may be interested. I should be good to go, but anyways, enough about all that. Let's get into the mix. Let's get this set up and let's get it functioning well. Hello, friends. It's a lovely Sunday. The ducks are hungry. Let me get the ducks set up because they're eyeing me and telling me that they need me to get them some food right now. So we're going to get that in place first. So I don't feel like I'm neglecting the ducks. If you caught any of my stream earlier, I was streaming It's a Wonderful Life because it's a really awesome Christmas movie. And I'll be streaming it a couple more times before Christmas. Technically it's a public domain movie, but it's also technically in that no man's land. So I'm trying to find that balance where I'm not breaking any rules, but also so we can all enjoy a really lovely movie with a great message. So look forward to that in the future. I threw it on the ground. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't want to be... Some days it makes it hard. Luckily, Owen's not streaming today, but I know the Ugly Jew is, so if you want to get caught up on what Owen talked about today, feel free to jump over the Ugly Jew. He's got his after party is definitely bueno. I'm sad I'm missing it, but I'm kind of limited on my times of when I need to feed the chickens and such. So I can only work around my schedule, and everybody else that's streaming, they just they get the stream. So let me throw this outside real fast. I'll be right back in here in just a second, and we will go collect some water, because I think that's the next step I need to do. I also need to get some food for my piggy pig, because she is going to tell me that she is super hungry as soon as she realizes that I am outside. So let's get that in place too. Let's get the beginning chores that we're doing today finished, so I can move on and we can have a very good conversation today. I don't have today is the Sunday free for all. I don't have a particular subject matter that I need to talk about today, so we're just gonna play it by ear and see what kind of cool things appear with our conversation today. I had another glove, but I since don't know where it is. So let's head on out. So I'm hoping that when I get that gimbal, it'll make this a little bit easier, so it's not so shaky cam. The gimbal looks pretty awesome. I've seen some people use it. I've read some decent reviews on it, so we will see. Yep. Quack, 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 and balk, balk, balk. And oink, oink, oink. And all of the wonderful sounds that living on a farm you get to hear every day. So we're back in the mud season, unfortunately, because the snow is mostly all melted right now. So mud season makes my yard and all of it, it really showcases the craziness of my setup. It's also good because it also keeps me reminding me that I just need to be a little bit better organized. That's the one perk of mud season. And it's also good too. It's also a good way to refresh the soil. Such there are good natural reasons for mud season, so I'm not completely complaining about mud season. It's just we're supposed to get snow. It looks like there's some snow in Missouri right now, and so that's usually about a day or two away. So Monday or Tuesday we should get a good amount of snow, which I will be excited for. We are at 11 inches so far this year. Yes, there are guineas over there as well. What do I have left? I think I've got 8 guineas left. I hatched 1 this year. But in general, most of the guineas, I had a really bad year for guineas. I had 3 hit by a car, and I've never prior to this year ever had a guinea hit by a car. And I lost 3 this year because for some silly reason they wanted to go play on the busy road, which is actually way over there by that church. So I'm not sure why they started doing that this year. But we lost 3. They're technically hit by semis. But yeah, we lost 3, so down a little bit. But I did gain 1, which I haven't, their eggs have not been fertile for the last couple of years. So that was awesome, that whatever the new ones is. And I will be actually on the search of trying to find some more guineas this year. because I'd like to add some more bloodline to my originals. Yes, I'm being lazy again and filling up the water in this thing. With the amount of rain and such we've had, I think it's a good idea to just keep refreshing this until I become unlazy and set up a decent watering station again. Plus, I don't mind carrying this. It's not a bad. Yes, guineas are really good at ticks. They're really good at getting rid of. They're actually good at decimating small snakes. They also really like to eat slugs, and with the ducks. The downfall is if they see bugs on your fruit or vegetables like tomatoes, they'll actually peck at the tomatoes because they're eating, the bugs and such that are growing on there. So you do get some tomatoes with holes in them, but they are bug free. So it is a give and take. Wow, that is a really weird the way the sun is reflecting there. Sorry if I'm blinding anyone. Okay. Plus, guineas are spectacular at alarms. They let you know anytime something new is entering the yard, including paper bags or leaves or other things that you have no problem if they enter the yard. Okay, into the vestibule. Here we are, into the chicken coop. So these are the guineas that I have that got injured. They got in a fight with a dog. And the ones that are in there have got an issue with their leg or got their leg amputated. So that's actually why they're living in a cage, because guineas are really not animals that enjoy living in cages. But if I didn't, they would not have any type of chance of survival. So try to keep them as happy and healthy as possible with that. What is the humidity? So the humidity is rather high in here today, and the temperature is 46. So I have this fan. One of my friends was explaining to me how to turn this into an exhaust fan, where if I just need a pipe, I need a pipe for it, and I think I'm going to hook it up over there where that light is and send it outside and see if that actually makes any difference to keep the humidity down. The problem is ducks are really good at bringing humidity in. And half the floor is a dirt floor, and the other half is a wood floor. So here, we'll walk over here. We'll see what the ducks are doing. Ooh, sorry, duck. Okay. Yeah, the 1x1 foot pavers. I've actually tried to make them a couple times. But yeah, they're a good. I actually have a few throughout the course of the yard to help me get through some of the really slippery spots. And you can see I should have had one right there just a few minutes ago when I slipped. But so be life. Let's head on down over this way. And the sun is super bright right now. Hey, what is this doing on the ground? Not good. This is not supposed to be here. I must have lost this. I guess I'll stick it in the tree for now. Oh, okay. So, if you've seen some of the past videos, this was actually designed to have this swampy feel, which I'm pretty excited it's actually working the way it is. The ducks over here are doing their thing, which is good. Water, you get water a little bit higher. I can see it running right next to my my little pipe I put in. So that'll be something I need to address in the future. But yeah, these guys really prefer being in these type of ponds instead of walking around. So they're pretty happy here. Okay. Let's continue on. And lots of mud and rain anywhere. This right here that we're standing in, we're going to actually put walls up and a roof on this. And this is going to be like a duck barn annex so that we have a little bit more room. We'll put solid walls on there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the ground floor yet. I have some plans with that. And then my goal is in the spring, we're going to convert this to a greenhouse. So I might actually convert that to a greenhouse as well. You can never have enough buildings. I'm going to peek down in here because I actually haven't been in here since I moved this beehive in. And I'm really curious if we peek down into this beehive, if I actually have any bees left. I don't see a whole lot there at the bottom, which is good. So I'm not going to open this today because I don't want to risk. That's the one hive I have functioning left, and that they've been doing fairly good. So I don't want to risk moving that one or doing anything until it's a nice warm day. And I go through lots of experiments here, like what we're walking on right now. This is wooden pallets and some old wood boards, and just trying to make a little walkway and see how well it functioned before I continue on and make a really large walkway. I have this wood right here. It's just debarked wood. I'm going to try to, I don't know, maybe do some experiments with that. Got a lot of fun projects. I always have projects, though. That's the plus and minus of being on a farm, is that there is always a project to work on. So let's get all the bunnies fed and watered today. Can't see me if I do that. Okay, good. So is anybody doing anything interesting on this lovely Sunday? Anybody having any extreme weather? Anything out west I need to pay attention to as it's sweeping through? Like I said, I saw a little bit about that snow in Missouri. That's going to be really interesting. I really, really would prefer if we had a little bit more snow right now, because it would make things quite a bit easier for me, because it's easier for me to deal with the snow than it is to deal with the craziness of the mud. Huh, really? That's canned cat food and liverwurst. That's really interesting. That is an absolute first for me. That'll be something I'll have to really try. That's interesting. It probably, for me, it would definitely draw possums and some other things, but that's really cool. I like cool different experiments like that, to try to draw things around and see where I can convince different animals and different species and different insects to go where I want them to go, or suggest them to go in particular areas. Yeah, are you out there in Cali, are you pretty much done with worrying about wildfires, or is that something that still could be something that might pop up and you might still have to worry about through the winter season? That's one thing I'd have to say I'm very ignorant about, is I don't know that much about the fire season and things to be worried about. Our fire season here is really, really short. It's snowing in South Dakota. Okay. Cool. Thank you, Fifth Wheel. Yeah, I walked through the house today and noticed that it was snowing. One of the football games, I think it was Kansas City, and they said that it was snowing like crazy. Oh yeah, I don't have the food. The water is still in the other place. Forgot I brought it to the wrong barn. And Fifth Wheel, thank you for watching it on Out the Window Weather. If you like this kind of stuff and you want to see what the farm looks like all the time, if you visit X Dr. Firefly, that's also where this is streaming. I stream it on both because it's the only way that I can keep what I want set up, so I can see it on both screens. So I can keep up my farm screen, and so I can also chit chat with people on both. I can just have a good chit chat. So, South Dakota, I had some friends thinking about moving out there at one particular point. Is South Dakota, do you enjoy passing through South Dakota or being in South Dakota? Okay, so fire season is over in Cali. That's good to know. I'm glad that that's nothing that you have to worry about. If you don't live in Fifth Wheel, if you don't live in South Dakota, I'm just kind of curious what it looks like this time of year. If it's a cool place. I'm in southern West Virginia, and I love being in southern West Virginia. I love the Appalachian Mountains. I think that they are beautiful. They're just tall enough for me to have everything that I like here, and they're not so overwhelming. But it's also they also create some cool, awesome weather, so that I can enjoy all four seasons very well here. And Fifth Wheel, also welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I'm going to cut the tree later, Jake. Okay, I'll be there in just a second. Okay. Am I going to be able to keep hearing myself? That'll be interesting if that's the case. Let me just do this. This should work. Okay. So yeah, those if this is your first time watching, I go through lots of crazy technical difficulties, so I'm apologizing now, and I'm sorry if it seems chaotic or crazy. There's always something going on, and either the chicken turns off the screen, or someone calls me and makes things more difficult for me, or my Bluetooth cuts out. That's what you get when you have a $1 million expensive budget. I'm gonna head back up to the house real fast, make sure I got everything going. So my family, we're originally from northeastern Ohio, and my little brother, who lives here, he and my father like to watch football, and they don't like to miss the games. So since I have fairly decent computer skills. I'll say that in the nicest way possible. Since I've got good computer skills, I usually pirate the game and throw it up on a TV with a Chromecast for them, so that is what we are doing. I'm going to walk back to the house real fast. I'm going to make sure that the game is functioning for them, because, yeah, because I'm just cool like that. And, you know what, I'll just let you guys enjoy the lovely day, because it'll only take me about a minute or two. I just got to actually hit restart on their thing. So I'm going to flip the camera around so you guys can see. Oh, no need to flip it around that way. Flip it around the other way. Okay, you guys can see that. I'll be right back in just a second. You might even still be able to hear me, but whatever. Okay, we are back. Fun, fun, fun. I'm sorry if you typed anything, I missed it, because I had to go in there and get all that fixed for everyone. Talk to my buddy later. So yeah, I will tell you guys, it's really, really hard having your parents move back in after years. Very flat till you hit Rapid City. Okay. I've missed all the flyover states. I've been to most states east of the Mississippi, and I've been down the entire Pacific coast. I've been from Alaska down to Central California. But pretty much anything between the Mississippi and the West Coast, I have not ever been to. So I don't know a whole lot about that. I am definitely East Coast all the way. And at this particular point in my life, Appalachia, anywhere in the Appalachian Mountains will be where I choose to stay. A bottle of what? A bottle of wine. I mean, I definitely have my favorites of wine. Or if you're talking about just like a bottle of liquor, I would say, well, it depends. A good bottle of tequila is good. Most people pretty happy with rum. If you have an oldies, by. They have some pretty. If you have an Aldi's by, there's some of that. They have some crazy fun like Christmas and holiday wines and such like that are always cool. That would be my recommendations for that. And if you're talking about brands, there is a brand of tequila that's actually not tequila, it's agave. And I think it is probably one of the best. It starts with an M. I can text it to you later, Stu. I don't remember the exact name of what it's called. It's got a little worm in it as well, but it's an agave. It's an agave instead of a tequila, and I really like agave. So, so funny. So ever since they did this update to Streamlabs, it makes the camera a lot darker. I'm not sure why. I think it's I find it rather silly because I used to have. The first couple videos that I did, it was really pretty good. This last time, it's just kind of blah. So funny is I'm watching my stream myself so I can make sure that I'm doing it, but I am super delayed on that stream. On my little stream, I'm still at the front porch, which is where we were when you were seeing the flag wave. Flip the camera around. So I think it's mostly the selfie camera that seems to have the issue with not being able to pick up the light as well. And this LG is really good at. Yeah, trees. I like trees. I would have a really tough time living anywhere that didn't have a lot of trees. I think it would be really weird. Like, I would feel very, very vulnerable living in a place that I wasn't surrounded by a bunch of trees. Like, when I moved here, like, all of these trees I hand-planted, not the ones up on the mountain there, but all of these pine trees I planted throughout the course of the years that I lived here. Because when I moved here, this was part of, where we're walking right now was actually part of the hayfield, and I had other plans for it. And so, now it's the permaculture lab, where we try different types of farming experiences and trying to teach different ways to do farming. And so before I give solid advice to people, I'll try it out. But I felt very vulnerable because the trees were so far away from my house. So moving a place where trees would be really small or really far in the distance, that would be crazy. Almost to the bunny barn. Okay, here we are, friends, back here. The other thing I don't like about carrying these on mud is a lot slippery, and so you have to actually like walk carefully. And when you're consciously thinking about walking carefully and trying not to slide, it seems it makes it a little bit harder to carry things. And the reason I'm doing that is because carrying, I think it's about 6 gallons. Carrying about 6 gallons and sliding can definitely lead to some injuries. And I do everything I can to try to avoid any type of injuries because one, the hospital's about 40 minutes away, and two, injuries cost money, and not having health insurance, it costs more money. And so just being conscious of what you're doing and making good decisions will stop you from having to go to the hospital or having to go to the doctor. So I don't mind going a little slower or really thinking about how I walk. And that's another thing about when you do homesteading and all that kind of good stuff is you need to really understand what's going on so that you make good decisions. Because it's easy to make bad decisions and it's easy to get injured. And that in turn, not only does it slow down how productive you are on the farm, it also means it's going to cost you more money, and that money could be used for better purposes than fixing you because you've made some silly decisions. Thirsty. Whew. So, guys, like I said, today's just more of just a chat with me today, and no real major subject online. We've had some past episodes. We've talked about crypto. We've talked about why I raise the animals, why I moved to southern West Virginia. We've talked about a bunch of variety of stuff. Why I'm a 501c3 nonprofit. Why I stream. Every once in a while I get people coming in and we talk about the shape of the earth and NASA line to us. We can all talk about all that kind of great stuff. This is just a good place to hang out, chit-chat about stuff that you may feel a little awkward about talking about in real life. Or with people. We're just a bunch of, I'd say a bunch of friends here. I'm kind of cool on entertaining any idea about anything. I think it's fun. I think it's good to, have honest, true conversations, even if not everyone's agreeing upon what we're talking about. What I like about not agreeing with people is I learn a whole lot from other people. They teach me some really cool things. Thank you for the follow, Fifth Wheel. The goal is you're the one that I know is new. We try to do this once a day. It's roughly around this time every day. It's going to give or take a little bit based on if there's other things going on. But we just have these conversations. A lot of times I have them a lot more structured than this, even though having a structured conversation is funny on a streaming service because it starts off as structured and then it leads to some, and then we get on some fun subjects and it kind of leaves the structured form fairly quickly because it's just fun to follow the flow sometimes. Okay, I got a bunny outside. Let's go head on out and say hi to the outside bunny. So the main purpose of what I do is it's mostly just to show people the everyday grind of, well, doing homesteading and the realness to it. Because a lot of times you'll hear a lot of people talk about what it's like, and you'll hear people just talk about the desire to want to do it or how it's so hard to do. And I'm just trying to give you guys a quick glance into what it's like in real life. And there's a couple good YouTubers. Justin Rose is a great example. He does a great job of pretty much giving you guys a heart of what it's like to do some of this. And there's a few other YouTubers, but who knows with all the craziness that's been happening on YouTube lately, who knows what's going to be happening in the future with that platform. I have my own strong opinions. I think Alphabet wants to sell YouTube, because I think they want to keep their definitely profit-driven part of like Google and Ad and the other programs in Android. And so I think that they know that they're going to get flagged soon and be required to break them up like we did the bells. And so they're trying to devalue some of their services so that they can either sell them or just close them down and say, hey, look, we're not what you say you are. That's just my opinion. Plus, if you make something like a YouTube, much more of like a TV station, you can court things like Comcast and Viacom and Disney to wanting to buy your service from you. So that's honestly what I think they're doing. So that's the upside of that, is you're going to see a grow of some of the alternative sites like Library, LBRY, and BitChute, and then a lot of the streaming services, like DLive, Twitch, Mixer. The only problem with Twitch, the big thing I have with Twitch and Mixer, is Twitch is an Amazon product, and Amazon is just one of the big guys out there. And Twitch and Mixer is a Microsoft product. And if you know anything about the computer era, you'll remember when Microsoft pretty much ran the world with everything. I'm really surprised that Google doesn't have its hands in a real popular streaming service just yet. But I think it's because right now they're still using Google Live. And I think they also might be shying away for what I mentioned first about how they're afraid that they might they might actually get broken up, and so they're trying to keep their products cheap enough to sell or cheap enough just to get rid of. So that's my honest opinion. Do I still use YouTube? Absolutely. I will keep using. Yeah, most everything is money-based. I agree. I do believe that there is a handful of stuff that exists that's not money-based. Like, I think that the reason why 3D printers never became super popular is because they realized that it's going to be something that once 3D printers become an everyday staple for folks, it's going to be a way to save money instead of make money. But yes, I agree. I think everything is money-based, but I think we can change that. And change it in a good way, not necessarily in that socialist, everything for free way. But I practice what's called compassionate capitalists, where I think that you, as a capitalist and as a free market, you should be giving back to your community and giving back to the community that's supporting you. And whatever you see is the best way to do that. And focus on, like next year I'm going to be I'll be picking some interns, and the whole purpose of the interns is they're going to help me, but I want them to be able to walk away with experience. I also want them to be able to learn some skills, like we're going to do farmers markets type things. I'm going to give them access to property. I'll help work the garden plots and such like that, and then they get the yield of that and get to do awesome stuff with whatever they want with the yield. And I've kind of become their farm hand when it comes to that particular part of the project.
that way I can be giving back to that particular part. Also, right now, I go around and I teach a lot of the community. I'm on some nonprofit boards to teach. Like, with the nonprofit boards, I'm on a couple with the park services so we can keep the parks functioning, and I can be a voice when the parks can't. I also belong to some groups where we work with some of the impoverished in the county next door, which is called McDowell County, and we do some awesome working with that. I work with a company that does some welding training where we're trying to retrain coal miners and such to do things like that. So I think that I can actually make a revenue, and I can actually make money, and I can make a living, but I can also give completely back to the community and keep my money local and keep it tight and make sure that everybody around me is also thriving. The other thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build community. I long for the days of what we see the 40s and 50s like, where we see these great communities where people work together, where you know your neighbors, where you help out, where you don't worry so much about crime, you don't worry about so much because you know everyone. And if someone's down on hard times, everybody gets together and you help those people. And I'm not necessarily saying just through charity, but like maybe you just help them for a short period of time, and then with that help you expect something in return. So I think that's one of the downfalls to why charities don't work and why some of these social programs just are not working the way they should, is because we're not asking anybody for something in return. And I think everybody has an ability, everybody has something that they can give back. And there's a lot of pride and there's a lot of worth when you can give back. And it's also probably our responsibility that if someone doesn't know what their value is, for us to help find their value for them and prop them up and be their cheerleader and help them achieve awesomeness. So that's kind of how I view things. So I am a little woo-woo. So I believe that there's a lot that can be done with trusting in a spiritual guidance. But I also think that there's a lot that we can do as humans, that we can do working and helping and fixing people that are broken here. So I'm political leaning for those that are interested. I'm very center, but I'm probably more center-left than what most people would imagine. But I'm center-left anti-government. So I think people are genuinely good, and I think that if you give to people and you find their skill set, they'll be more than happy to give back. So are there bad people in the world? Absolutely. Absolutely. Is there evil? Absolutely. Should the government tell me what I'm going to do with my money? Absolutely not. Because the government is just people making decisions for me. And there are times, there are absolutely times for giving handouts for folks that are just really, they're in really bad hardship. And I think that if we save those for the very, very special times, those people will feel very honored to receive that kind of handout because they're just, maybe they lost a loved one, maybe they're super, super injured. But I think that a lot of them, if they don't give back, their children or a family member will see how charitable and how great the community was, and then they'll give back in lieu of somebody else. I know that all the times that I've been helped out throughout the years, or my family has been helped out, I've wanted to give back, and I've wanted to do everything I can to help those that's given back. So, and I know I'm not alone. I just know that right now we're so tied up with technology and we're so brainwashed and there's so many other things that we forget to give back, or we get caught up in this I deserve something mindset. And while I've done the course of my life, I've tried to separate myself from that. I have complete understanding of why someone coming from a particular area might have that. So with a lot of these social justice warriors, I understand where their heart is. I do. I just think sometimes they live in a different reality, and so they see the abundance that they living in their life, and not understanding that abundance was provided because somebody worked hard and because somebody focused on that abundance. and not because it was just something that was just given to them. So that's where I try to work with the social justice warriors, and I try to work with some of those leftists, and I even try to work on the other side with the folks that don't think that they should give anything away. I try to find that balance, and that's where I try to put myself in most things, is smack dab in the middle. As I don't want to say a fence sitter, so what I usually refer to myself as is you've got the left wing and the right wing, I'm the duck. So there's the wings over here, I'm just right in the middle. Yeah, I absolutely agree, Fifth Wheel. More and more people are starting to understand the value of working and giving back and having that great balance that we have. And I am super excited about that. That's how when some people say, you know, there's all this evil in the world, there's all this bad, and why I simply say, there is, but we've already won. We have already turned enough minds and turned enough heads that the snowball has started. We've already started that snowball, and we are going downhill, and we have a lot of great things that are going to be accomplished as we pick up more people, as we educate more, as more and more people understand how, as a good person, how we can live our lives and enrich everyone's lives around us. And so that's one of the things that excites me. That doesn't mean that we don't got to be on our toes, and we got to look out for those boulders, and we got to look out for those things that are going to slow us down. But we've won.